If you're new to playing guitar or you've just decided that you want to play guitar, you're in the right place. Today I'm going to talk about how you can get started with the very basics, everything from choosing a guitar to the tools and tricks of the trade. Yeah, this is how I feel some days when I think about playing guitar. That's how I felt in the beginning. I didn't really want to play guitar. It wasn't a lifelong dream for me, and now I can't imagine a day without playing guitar. All right, I'm going to do a quick part of a song. Are you wondering who I am and why you should listen to me? I'm going to play a little clip of me singing, and then we're going to jump right in. And you'll see I have a little device over here on the guitar. I'm going to be talking about that later in the video, so if you want to know what that is and what it's for, stay tuned. I'm going to do a quick 2-chord song by Niall Horan called Fire Away. I'm just going to do a little part of the song so you can see what is in your future. You keep saying that you're all right, but I can see it through your fake smile. You're not. There's a reservoir in your eyes that you've been holding back a long time. What's wrong? Today, I want to share with you what you need to get started as a new guitar player. First thing, I'm going to go through this as quickly as I can, and then I will go back and jump into some of the details. So let's begin. First, you need an instrument. Next, you need a tuner. Then you need a capo. Then you need this trusty stand for your music. You're going to need a microphone if you want to record. You're going to need a phone for your apps. And I think that just about covered all of what you need besides your attitude and being excited about learning guitar. I would really appreciate it if you could just take a minute and like, comment, or subscribe on this video as I continue to grow my channel. Why do you want to play guitar? And what do you want to do with the skill? And for me, I didn't really want to play guitar. That really wasn't my plan. I had been playing ukulele and I just didn't really have any intent to ever play guitar. I was happy with the ukulele. Then I spent a month writing 90 songs. And by the end of that, I realized I need to have a guitar. I just can't deal with this ukulele anymore by itself. I need something more, like more options, a bigger instrument with more sound. And that is how I ended up moving into playing guitar. So a little bit different. Some people just have always wanted to play guitar. That for me was just not the case. Didn't even really want to play guitar initially. I know that sounds a bit strange. Here I'm doing a video about playing guitar, but I was very reluctant. I thought the guitar was going to be too hard to play. I thought it was too big, and I thought it was too loud. And after talking with some other people about their experience playing guitar, I learned that there is guitar for everyone. So you don't all have to play an electric guitar and be smashing guitars on stage. That isn't everybody. Maybe it's some of you, I don't know. But you don't have to take guitar in that direction. And so for me, I decided to go in this other direction of playing more folk songs, things I could play in the home where it's not too loud. I can write my own songs and keeping it pretty, we'll say, low-key coffee house style of music. So as you think about playing guitar, before you choose your guitar, think about what I just told you, in that the same thing is not true for everyone. Not everyone needs the same experience with a guitar or needs the same output or outcome. So not everyone needs to be on stage, not everyone needs to play loud, and not everyone needs to have the coffee house music either. So if you want to play loud, that's okay too. But you need to think about what you think your style of play will be. And one way that you can do that is think about who are the artists that you want to be most like, and who do you really admire for artists. And for me, I really like Bob Dylan in his very simple way that he's written a lot of songs, very simple really, and played on a guitar with a lot of times very simple chords. Also Johnny Cash, very similar. in the style, so sort of truth-telling and very simple guitar chords to make up a song. And so for me, those are the things that I thought about when choosing a style. If you want someone a little more contemporary, I also like Ed Sheeran or Niall Horan or even Taylor Swift. You know, she is, plays guitar as well to write a lot of her songs. It really doesn't matter, an old artist or a new artist, whoever inspires you is what you need to think about when you think about the style that you want to play. And that will make this whole job of getting started with playing guitar easier. And if you've been reluctant, hopefully some of these truths that I'm telling will help you decide how you want to proceed. The first thing you need to do is select a guitar that's good for you. I try to keep this simple. If you have a guitar already, or you can borrow someone or get one cheap, and you feel like that's going to work for you, go for that. There's no need to spend a lot of money on a new guitar. But I encourage people to have at least a decent guitar that sounds good and that you're able to tune, because if you can't tune it, it's not going to sound good and you won't want to play. What I'll just cover here are the basics. There's 3 types of guitars there's the acoustic guitar with nylon strings, like the one I have on the wall. There's an acoustic guitar with steel strings, and then there is an electric guitar. And essentially, those are the basic 3 types of guitars that you will be looking at and considering, especially as a beginner. The next thing that you would do is consider how you want to play, what kind of sound you like, and the size of the guitar that you're going to be playing. If you're going with more of a classical or acoustic guitar, they tend to be bigger than an electric one, but they're also much lighter. So these are things that you can compare and contrast and figure out what is best for you. So I'll share with you what I came to conclusion on, which was this Cordoba acoustic guitar with nylon strings. And I like it because the nylon strings are not so hard on your hands. I don't need electricity to play it. I can carry it anywhere I want. And then the third thing is that this particular one is a 3/4 size, so it's a little bit smaller. The neck is a little bit smaller, so I'm able to play it easily, not having large hands, and it's easier for me to manage. But you have to consider what's great for you. So that's pretty much all I'm going to say. Choose your guitar. I have put together a guitar comparison cheat sheet, and I'm going to put a link in the description below so that you can check that out after this video. For those of you that are interested, here is the guitar comparison cheat sheet. Take a look at this. It includes 3 different types of guitars: electric, acoustic with steel string, and acoustic with nylon string. You can do a quick comparison, look at pros and cons. And then also this addresses things like weight and even sound style, as well as the cost range for the type of guitar that you may be interested in. So please take a look at this. There's a free download in the description below. Let's move into the very essential, basic things that you need to start playing guitar. Because I think some people get crazy with all these accessories they think they're going to need. And I can tell you the number one accessory you need is tuner, a clip-on tuner that will clip onto your guitar, and I'll quickly show how that works here. You clip it on, and for this type of tuner, it's actually can be used for other things. You click through, and you're going to select guitar, and then you're going to tune your guitar. But you can see all 6 strings. You're going to start at the top, which is string 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And you're just going to work through each of those until it's showing as green on your tuner, or that it's accurately tuned. And then you just go to the next string and proceed to do that for all 6 strings. Depending on the type of guitar that you have, it will go in and out of tune differently. Also, how old the strings on your guitar are will also determine how often you have to tune. But essentially, every time that you sit down and play music, you're going to need to do tuning. I suggest that because that way you're not wasting your time listening to your own music that doesn't sound good. The next thing I want to talk about is the capo. And for me, I didn't even know what this was till a ways into my journey, but I noticed that a lot of songs were saying, put a capo on fret number 2, 3, 4. So what a capo is it presses down all of the strings for you so that then you can play the instrument further down on the neck. And the reason you have this is to change the key of the song. And when you put the capo on, you're just going to put it on as close as you can to the line. And then you would just play, when you get to learning your chords, we'll get to that later, you'll just play as if this is the top and you're playing from there. So pretty simple, but pretty important because a lot of songs require a capo. And I will share with you, I learned the song Sound of Silence, and you have to put it way down here on the neck and then play. So yeah, it is definitely important and critical for a lot of songs. As you get more mature in your learnings, you can figure out other ways to play higher on the neck by switching around the keys and transposing, but we won't get into that today. That's for another time. The thing I want to share is the music stand. And this I use to hold my music. If I have a notebook or a printed out sheet with my music on it, I can just put it up here and it's easy to view while I'm playing. And it's also a little bit more ergonomic than if you're putting your head down and looking at the ground or looking at a table all the time. Having it up is a little bit more comfortable once you're playing a bit. This music stand is not essential in the first days, but the more you play, you'll realize it will make playing a little more comfortable, and it'll allow you to store your music in a separate place. The other thing is this stand that I showed, it does adjust up if you want to stand up and play, so it does go tall enough for that. It's also pretty sturdy. It doesn't really knock over easily. And if you think you're going to be playing somewhere else or you want to be able to move your stand somewhere else, then they have smaller, more portable ones, and you can maybe start off with that if you don't want this more bigger and robust music stand. The next item, your phone. What do you need your phone for? Well, if you're not going to have printed out music, you're going to need a place to have your music. So I'm showing the phone, but you could also use a computer for the same thing and have an application that you can access all your music on there. Now, what I usually recommend is that you have an application that has all of your music in it. In the description below, I will include the links to some of the equipment that I have here that I showed in the video in case you're interested. As I put in the disclaimer, I would get some affiliate money for that. So if you decide to go with one of those items, would greatly appreciate it. But if you decide to go a different direction, choose some other equipment, I wish you the best of luck in getting all your equipment ready so that you can go off and start singing and playing guitar. When you're learning to play guitar, there's so many applications out there. I don't want you to get stressed out or lost or spend a lot of money on applications that you aren't going to use. I'm going to give you what I find has been my top used application, and that is Ultimate Guitar. And I will give you a few reasons as to why it has been great. One, it has every song that you could want to play pretty much is in their library. Number two, there's chord tabs for most of the songs that you'll want to play, as well as music. So you have plenty of options of music to access for one price versus buying individual songs. It allows you to look up music by specific artists. So if you like a specific artist, you can just go and look up all their songs. And then the next thing that I really like is that to use Ultimate Guitar, I just have it on my phone. I can download the songs to my phone, and then I don't even have to have internet to access the music that I want to play. The other thing that is nice is in the apps, it may seem strange that you have this little, your music on such a small screen, but it does scroll through the music for you at a pace that should be appropriate for the playing of the song, and you can actually adjust that pace, how fast you want to have the music play or view so that you can play. Those are the reasons I find this Ultimate Guitar application really worth the money. If you're going to spend money, it's something that I would spend money on. You can get some music for free in other locations, but you'll find that there's a lot of ads, or it's difficult to print out, or when you print something out, it isn't accurate. So that's why I just go with this one. I have tried other applications that have similar offerings, but they just don't seem to work quite as well. The next application I just wanted to mention for anybody who's also learning to sing while they're learning guitar, since typically you're singing and playing guitar at the same time. I have used SingScope as an application to test out my voice and find my vocal range, or also to sing a song into it and then verify how accurate it is to the song that I'm singing. So that can be a useful tool, and that particular one is free. So as you know, I like free. Free is good. So check that out when you get a chance. You're just a beginning guitar player. You may not have visions of grandeur of putting your music on YouTube or distributing it. So I won't spend a lot of time on this, but I just thought I would share a few of these things for you, because you would be surprised how quickly you can go from not knowing how to play guitar to writing your own songs and needing to do something with them, meaning get them out to the world. So the first one is your microphone. Having a decent microphone for recording music you'll need. And I'm using this same microphone to record this video, so you can kind of see what the audio is like for that. The next thing is Canva. Has been a great tool for creating thumbnails for all of my YouTube videos, or creating album art that I used for distributing my music. It also is a great place you can record yourself with your face in a bubble, or you can do all these fancy things with Canva. It has so many capabilities. I've really only scratched the surface, but it's a great tool if you're going to be doing a lot of activities where you need to be in social media and you need to share a lot of things, either on a website or YouTube or in social media. Any of those, Canva has been a great tool and has a lot of capabilities, some of the ones I just mentioned. The other tool is, once you have some songs that you want to share, you'll want to have some sort of distribution process for that. Now, I started out with SoundCloud because for me it was initially free, so I thought, well, I'll just put some music out there and start to just work through the process. And then over time I graduated into distributing the music through SoundCloud as well to other places like Amazon or Spotify, and then even back to YouTube and Instagram. If you want to include your songs in your background of your little videos, you can do that. So all those things of distribution are going to be important later, and so you might want to be thinking about how you can do that in the short term if you have things you want to record. I use SoundCloud, DistroKid, and there are many others that you can explore, or if you know other people that have tried other ones, you can use those as well. The last one is vidIQ, and that is what I use for YouTube for sort of grading my titles and thumbnails and descriptions, and really the whole process for promoting and getting the right content onto YouTube. And so that is what I call an essential basic tool to do that. That particular tool is a little bit more pricey. So it's really, if you're going to be active on YouTube, it's a nice tool to have. But again, all the tools that I just mentioned are for your later self when you want to share and promote your music, or maybe become a creator and make your own videos. Find your inspiration. Choose your guitar using, in the link below, the guitar comparison cheat sheet to help you choose your guitar. Then you want to you're gonna have to go on your own and shop and try to find the best deal. Make sure you pick up a tuner. Any tuner will do. Pick up a capo. Again, you can find these on Amazon or anywhere. And the last thing is finding your music. So figuring out where you want to get your music from and start your learning process. In this video today, I've really just given you the basic tools and not the how. So you're going to have to figure out the how you learn. Everyone learns differently. I actually am more of a self-taught guitarist. I just started reading the music and how to play and just play, and then watch some YouTube videos and then just played from that. That summarizes everything I wanted to say about the things that you need to get started with playing guitar today.